What is the crime? Eating a succulent Chinese meal.
This is the man that grabbed me on the penis.
Okay guys, Aaron and Ninja here. We're going to do a bit of a calf video with Aaron, so it might take us take about 90 minutes. The longest calf in the history of blokes.
Good singing, Ninja.
You like that?
Yeah, sing a box.
Just get your popcorn out,
Settle
back,
in.
put it, put this on the big screen.
Put the kids to bed.
Yeah. Settle in.
I don't think we've done an outside shirtless treatment together for, I don't know if we've ever done one.
No. It's a treat, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a treat in many ways.
So, yeah, we've been upping our training loads. So
we have
a couple of extra running sessions a week, and probably for me an extra 1 or 2 little circuits or chest sessions a week as well. So a bit of a knot in there. So yeah, we've got to take care of each other. We're ramping it up because we've got a couple of NFL boys coming out in June. So it's 1st of April today. So
I was thinking we should do an April Fool's post for social media, Ninja.
Yeah.
I reckon we could have one of you being like, I'm quitting.
Yeah, do an AI. Maybe we've missed the cut-off. It's meant to be before 12, isn't it?
It's 11:35 right now, so depending on how long this video goes for.
Oh, mate, we have to get Leo on the AI, give me a broken leg or something, or black eye, or...
Oh, you reckon actually make up some...
Yeah,
Ninja
Aaron
hit by a
punched me
tram or something.
in the eye.
That'd be pretty funny, actually. Ninja hit by a tram overnight. The tram's just destroyed.
Yeah. Well, they say, it's like a rhino.
Yeah, how many... Yeah. Oh, it's very... who was the bloke who got hit by a tram? AFL player? Graham Polak?
He got poleaxed.
Poleaxed by a tram.
Yeah.
Route number 102.
Really?
Nah, I made it up.
You made that up?
Yeah. But we have been training Ninja.
Yeah. I've got a little bit of a calf story, like just a real recent one. I've got a young bloke come playing with St Kilda Football Club. He's on their list.
Oh, yeah?
And he hasn't been able to get on the park because of his calves. And I've kind of been in a bit of retirement from seeing new people and stuff. But my oldest ever customer, he's been seeing me for 27 years. I've been working for 27 years. He's still seeing me. He pulled a favour. He knows his dad, this young fella's dad. Anyway, a couple of weeks ago, like 3 weeks ago, I treated his calves because he couldn't get through games because of cramping, and he had most of last season off because of his calves. And
so what was going on with them? Like, is it just they were tearing or cramping?
You know what it was? The simplest thing ever. Popliteus. His
really?
popliteus was marked, and so.
Or was that?
Yeah, no. I just when I went in there, that was just sort of. He said, "Yeah, that's fucking it," and all through here. So I just was really thorough, just through money spot and all kind of along his shins and his feet as well. He's had the best 3 weeks, he's had.
Wow.
Had time to do a little bit of lower back and hips as well. And
so the club are happy. He's back training.
Yeah, he said he had his best ever game of his life. On the weekend, got 10 tackles. He's never had 10 tackles in his life.
Is that playing VFL?
In VFL, and he's actually in the midfield because he's been running as a high forward, and so he's...
Wow, that's great.
So he's turned it around from one treatment. So you sort of can't believe it. So
do you think it was actually popliteus that was the cause, or was popliteus potentially clamping on some of those blood vessels and nerves that are going into the calf?
It was stuck. Yeah, it was stuck. I think wouldn't claim popliteus was the sole thing because I think I did some really good work all through these kind of lines through here as well.
Resonated with him the most.
Yeah, the thing that kind of stuck out the most for him because no one knows how to treat popliteus. If you do our course, you can learn. So yeah, just through exploring really that I found where the stuff was really stuck, and I explored all his feet as well because as we know the anatomy of the lower leg, there's lots of things that start in the calves that end up in the feet. So yeah, it just was really thorough, and yeah, he's happy. Yeah, so I saw him again last night, and yeah, I'll probably just see him once a month or something like that. Just keep him on the track.
Crazy. So did he have old injuries that were maybe stagnant and stuff, or was it just accumulation?
Yeah, it's probably accumulation. I suppose just, when you go from the schoolboy stuff to stepping up to AFL kind of loads, his body just didn't cope with it.
Yeah.
So it's extra load and extra intensity, and I suppose when you're trying to get your spot, get a spot in the ones type of thing, you're just really pushing it, aren't you? So
yeah,
it's probably just didn't have enough recovery, and yeah, plus on top of old kind of stagnant things in his body, it just.
But that's the thing, isn't it? One treatment from a body worker can literally get a guy going who's in a professional athletic environment. Like, the hands-off brigade, the evidence-based people that say manual therapy is no good. It's like, that's freaking undeniable.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's why I loved it. Like back in 2004, I went to AFL clubs, so it's the professional Australian rules football clubs down here, and I was doing that with every guy. I was getting all these old niggles that they had stuck in their body. I was just working them out in one session. So, and like this, one of my stories, my best one, I reckon, was there was like 3 or 4 of them that had OP kind of stuff, osteitis pubis, and like Robert Murphy, they said, well, he's going to have to miss next season because of his OP, and like he was fixed within 6 weeks, and he trained. This was before Christmas, and then he trained just as normal after Christmas and played the full season, and he never had groin and lower stomach issues again in his whole career. He played nearly 300 games, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he played 300, so he was only like 22 at that stage.
It's brilliant.
So yeah, and I had a bunch of the older blokes like Chris Grant, Brad Johnson, Scott West. They kind of play at the end of their career. They'd all round 300 games each, and I did stuff with them that reignited their careers. So this hamstrings and calves and Achilles and different things like that.
So they'd get treatment, come in and tell you, mate, I freaking trained well, played good.
Yeah. Yeah, like Chris Grant with his hamstrings, I just was so deep in there, that bone level where all this scarring had kind of just accumulated, and just worked it out. He was coming over to my house in West Heidelberg.
Really?
In Christmas holidays and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah.
He was a good fella?
Yeah. Yeah. He's the original Roger Ramjet. Do you know what Roger Ramjet looks like? Looks like Chris Grant.
Yeah, that's right. He does look like him.
So
fair bit of B-roll to add to this one, Leo. You're gonna have to show
find some
people.
Roger Ramjet.
Bob Murphy, Chris Grant, Patrick said. Is that his name?
Patrick, yeah. It's a new role I've got, isn't it? I'm going to work on the B-roll with.
That's right.
With Leo.
Ninja's
innovation.
What is scope? Ninja's
scope
role has been boosted.
Yeah.
So yeah, good start here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good, Ninja.
It's what you needed.
Good quality work right here. Geez, that sun's good.
Yeah, and the sun.
Don't be scared of the sun.
Yeah, it's fucking. We wouldn't be alive without it.
Don't be scared.
It's the life force of all living things on this planet.
I found it interesting. We had one of our students over the weekend was a beautician.
Yeah,
and she's scared of the sun.
Yeah,
just it's interesting, very interesting.
Didn't want to get wrinkles, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know.
It's programming, man.
Are you foregoing some wrinkles, but then also jeopardizing yourself of a lot of other good stuff as well? So you're kind of actually robbing Peter to pay Paul, eh?
Yeah. Another interesting thing about the sun too is people got these whole body tattoos, sleeves and the legs and they're getting sick because they can't get their vitamin D
blocked.
Yeah, they're blocking off all the different things the sun gives us, all these spectrums, and people are wearing sunglasses all the time. The light spectrums aren't entering their eye, and it's really important that we get it, because like there's lots of depressions and these sort of things from not getting these spectrums in your eyes. So
a lot of people literally, as soon as the sun comes out, bang on the hat and the old and the sunglasses, don't they?
Yeah.
So it's like
and the sunscreen.
You can give yourself at least 10 minutes, couldn't you?
Yeah. And with the sunscreens, have natural ones. There is natural sunscreens that don't contain the poisons.
Get your zincs or something like that. Yeah. Some good stuff.
Yeah. So you don't have to be having 15 or 100, whatever they got, 50 chemicals in a thing. So because that goes straight into your bloodstream through your skin. Like
especially when you're in the sun, it just cooks the pores, opens them up, and it just embeds, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, don't be. I guess we're not saying don't be smart with the sun, eh?
Don't abuse it.
Don't abuse it, but don't bloody ignore it.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta, know when you're gonna get burnt.
That's where fucking didn't mean to swear then. Red light, really important too. So right now we're in the UV light, which is really important as well. That's obviously a little bit more damaging though. So you've got to be a bit safer, but you still need UV to be a really healthy human. But getting in the red light, which is sunrise and sunset light, that's super important as well. It does wonders for our circadian rhythm, and it actually prepares our body to tolerate more UV as well.
Yeah.
So the more red light we have, the more UV we can tolerate without burning, and so you win everywhere.
Win, win, win.
Win, win, win. So yeah, sunrise and sunset. But the way you can tell is if your shadow is taller than you, you're in the red light.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to tell.
The other way, if you can see the horizon, put 3 fingers, if the sun's inside your 3 fingers, and just sort of like that, then you know the sun's safe as well. Cool. To actually look at it, So there's probably a bit more time when the UV, but you can actually sun gaze.
And that leads us on to our next topic about
anal gazing.
Anal gazing.
You thinking of that too?
Yep. We were on the same singer wavelength then.
Get the sphincter into the sun.
There's your intro, Larry. That's your 10-second grab.
I see my mate Troy Casey,
certified health nut.
Yeah, he puts a fair bit of anal gazing on his thing, and
fair bit of UV around his ring.
Yeah, talks about the benefits and 30 seconds. Is
that all you need?
30 seconds to 5 minutes. He's sort of claiming.
All right.
It does plenty for your health.
Get a bit of sun on your balloon tie.
He also rubs aged urine all over his body as well. So
what kind of urine?
Aged. It's been, I suppose you
aged urine.
Piss in a bottle and you leave it for a week or so and just rub it on.
Do you put it in some like oak barrels as well? Get a bit of like
age it, tannins? You reckon, and drink it. Like wine, good wine, you reckon?
Yeah. Good tones.
Tannins.
Imagine like wine testing your piss.
There'll be for it one day. We should start bottling our piss and we'll sell it.
I reckon we could incorporate it into the 5-day intensive.
Yeah.
Imagine that in the itinerary. Piss drinking.
You're taking the piss. I don't like how they say it's a piece of piss, do I?
No, you don't like that terminology.
Nah, it's got a drop. It's a drop, mate. How can you have a piece of a liquid? Doesn't make any sense to me. I like making sense.
Yeah.
I've got you going here a little bit.
Yeah, it's really good though. I like it. I'm enjoying it. Yeah. I'm complicit.
Yeah, complicit. What is the crime? Eating a succulent Chinese meal.
See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis!
It took 6 officers to restrain him.
I saw it. Yeah, that was in the like '93.
Yeah, I know. He was famous his whole life.
Yeah.
He died too.
Yeah, just recently.
what a great gift to society.
Yeah.
That one day.
Yeah.
Like, he woke up that day not knowing that he was going to make history.
Yeah. He had it in his sights, so I was going to go and get this succulent Chinese meal and do a runner.
That's not more B-rolls, Leo. There's a fair bit
Find
in this
that bloke. Find that bloke. Yeah. What do you call it? Democracy Manifest?
Democracy Manifest, yep.
Yeah. I guess that's what you got to look up.
Thanks, Ninj.
Anyway, there you go.
Thanks for joining us.
He's good to train with me again. A bit later today.
Ready for 150s, Ninj.
150. Let's
Thanks,
get it
brother.
done. Thanks for watching, guys.